Hi, my name's Trevor Calvert. I'm from the Alameda County Library System, and today I'll be reading from Philip Pullman's The Golden Compass, which has been banned and challenged a bunch, I suspect, for its perceived threats to religious authority. So I think I found a good passage to illustrate that. So Lyra has just met her father, who's somewhat attached to the church, and she's asking him what this substance is called dust. So what's dust, and why is everyone so afraid of it? He looked at her as if trying to guess whether she would understand what he was about to say. He had never looked at her this seriously before, she thought. Until now, he had always been like an adult, indulging a child in a petty trick. But he seemed to think she was ready. Dust is what makes the eleothometer work, he said. Ah, I thought it might. But what else? How did they find out about it? In one way, the church has always been aware of it. They've been preaching about dust for centuries, only they didn't call it by that name. But some years ago, a Muscovite called Boris Mikhailovich Rusakov discovered a new kind of elementary particle. You've heard of electrons, photons, neutrinos, and the rest? They're called elementary particles because you can't break them down any further. There's nothing inside them but themselves. Well, this new kind of particle was elementary, all right, but it was very hard to measure because it didn't react in any of the usual ways. The hardest thing for Rusakov to understand was why the new particles seemed to cluster where human beings were, as if it were attracted to us, and especially to adults. Children too, but not nearly so much until their daemons had taken a fixed form. During the years of puberty, they begin to attract dust more strongly, and it settles on them as it settles on adults. Now, all discoveries of this sort, because they have a bearing on the doctrines of the church, have to be announced through the magisterium in Geneva. And this discovery of Rusakov's was so unlikely and strange that the inspector from the consistotorial court of discipline suspected Rusakov of diabolic possession. He performed an exorcism in the laboratory. He interrogated Rusakov under the rules of the Inquisition. But finally, they had to accept the fact that Rusakov wasn't lying or deceiving them. Dust really existed. That left them with the problem of deciding what it was. And given the church's nature, there was only one thing they could have chosen. The magisterium decided that dust was the physical evidence for original sin. Do you know what original sin is? She twisted her lips. It was like being back at Jordan, being quizzed on something she'd been half taught. Sort of, she said. No, you don't. Go to the shelf beside the desk and bring me the Bible. Lyra did so and handed the big black book to her father.